Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. Looking for a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Dockery, second by Campbell to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays? The ayes have it. Number 4, public comment. Looks like there's quite a few people there this evening, so when you come up to the microphone, state your name and where you live and your address, and then everybody that speaks that has a 2-minute timer.
3 minutes.
3 minutes? Okay.
Hi, I'm Sarah Adamick. I live in Bettendorf, Iowa, 2306 Pinehurst Street, Bettendorf, Iowa. My name is Sarah Adamick, and I am a resident of Bettendorf. However, as the treasurer of the Quad City Rollers, the Quad City area's only flat track women's roller derby team, and a member of their board of directors, I am here to speak on behalf of the Rollers. We are greatly concerned over the potential loss of the community center and our practice space. We are concerned that if we lose the space, we might have to shut down our league given the difficulty in finding an appropriate venue. We will lose the vibrant community that includes more than 60 individuals and entertains many at our home boats. The loss of the community center would destroy the strong social organization that builds and supports women's physical and emotional health. These are some of the intangible benefits of the Eldridge Community Center, or ECC. Now let us talk about the tangible benefits of the Rollers having a home in Eldridge. Each year we practice 10 months and host approximately 5 bouts. At our current contract rate, this works out to approximately $17,000 of income for the community center. It also creates 120 visits to Eldridge each week we practice, since many of us live outside the area. We put gas in our cars, we buy lunch and coffee after practice, we pick up groceries before we head home. We come to Eldridge because the ECC is here, we spend money in Eldridge because the ECC is here. Additionally, according to the State of the Industry Report of Tourism Economics 2019, sports tourism brings in an average of $88 per person for day travel and upwards of $400 per person for overnight stays. Given this information, the Quad City Rollers have an overall economic impact of the area between $260,000 and $1.3 million annually. The memo discussing the potential closing of the ECC questions whether the ECC is truly a community center defined as a publicly owned facility that offers a variety of services and programs for residents with a mission to serve the entire local population. While it is true, and then it goes on to say that the serves more of an event center. While it is true that many people come to Eldridge because of an event held at the ECC, the people of Eldridge and the wider community benefit greatly from having an affordable gathering space. In my 7 years of personal observations, I have seen the community center serve as a location for weddings, baby showers, Christmas parties, roller derby practices and bouts, dog training classes, community meetings, birthday parties, line dancing classes, craft shows, school skate nights, open skating, and pride nights. The purpose of the community center is to be a place that brings the community together. The ECC benefits the community of Eldridge and the wider QCA by being a place where people can afford to get together. If you are concerned that this variety of events does not serve the whole of Eldridge, there are ways to expand the offerings. I will yield.
Thank you.
Are we ready? Please don't close the skating rink. By me, Johnny Delfabro, age 7. Hello. Thank you for listening to me. My name is Johnny. I'm 7 years old and in 2nd grade at Edgeway Elementary. I live in Eldridge. My family lives in Eldridge. We do not want you to close the skating rink. Over to you.
She wanted me to read the rest of it because she was a little intimidated by you guys. This is the rest of her letter. I have rollerblades. Is it on? No. Is it on now?
Yeah.
I have rollerblades. I love to rollerblade. I need a place to rollerblade. I learned to rollerblade at the skating rink. My mom also likes to skate. We go to the skating rink together and have a lot of fun. Sometimes we bring my dad. I also plan on having my 8th
birthday party at the skating rink in August 2026. I've had this plan since August of 2025.
There aren't many places in Eldridge to have a birthday party. The skating rink is perfect. I would be super sad if the skating rink closed. It's the only place I can skate. My dad says it's super noisy when I skate in the house. He can hear it through the ceiling. Without the skating rink, I would have no place to skate. Skating is my passion, and I would straight up get rid of my skates. Eldridge needs more places for kids like me to go to. Places that are safe and where we can have fun. These places will only become more important as I get older. Closing the skating rink makes Eldridge worse, not better. We are getting bigger. We should be expanding services for kids. It's not always about money.
Thank you.
Jeff, is your request to turn the volume up?
That one's probably about as high as it goes, depending on where that's plugged in.
Hi, Gwen Tombergs. Recently moved back to Eldridge. I don't live on Tomberg Street. I live at 624 St. Andrews Circle. And I just learned about this council meeting today and about the closing of the community center. So as somebody who just moved back to Eldridge, I was raised in Eldridge. My parents had a bar restaurant in Eldridge. My dad was mayor for 8 years. So I have a passion because my grandkids live here. And I want this town to be the best it is because that's what I grew up with. I know that the community center is something that is a focal point, and I am happy to sit on any committee that is needed to look at the marketing and influence about making this the best community center and best event center. I have been an event planner for over 30 years. And I have rented almost every venue in the Quad Cities for some kind of nonprofit fundraiser or event. I worked for the casino for years. So I just want you to know that I'm here to lend my expertise, my passion for this place to not close. And I'm happy to look at all the financials and marketing that we can do to keep it here. Gwen Tombergs. 563-343-2058, gwentombergs@gmail.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi there, my name is Karen Melnar. I live in Rock Island, not Eldridge, 1609 29th Street in Rock Island, and I am also finishing the statement for the Quad City Rollers. Before you make the decision to shut down the ACC, we have a few questions and observations. The city, while desirous of having the community center operate at a net zero pace, seems to have done little to support this. According to the memo, there are issues with daily reconciling and depositing, frequent discrepancies in sales reports, high volumes of voids, etc. Has the city done anything to train the new manager in these procedures? The salary offered for the manager position is so low, it would not assume that an individual with the necessary knowledge and skills could be found, that this would have to be a case of providing job training. Has that been done? There also seems to be a vacancy in the assistant manager position. Is a new manager required to do the work that's supposed to be done by 2 people? Secondly, for the manager, there are significant disincentives to booking more events at the community center. Each event requires more work, scheduling employees, meeting with renters, and more logistics. And then there's the event itself, most of which occur on the weekend or after hours. What incentives does the manager or anyone working have to schedule these evenings or weekend work? Do they receive any overtime or pay comp time? Are they simply expected to work evenings and weekends in addition to the regular hours for less than $50,000 a year? Seems to me that by simply viewing the ECC as a line item on the budget, that all of the non-financial benefits are ignored. Society thrives when people get together. We urge you to table this decision.
Was that it? Did it?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, hi, my name is Stephanie Fisher. I'm a resident of the city of Eldridge. I live at 252 West Donahue Street. I actually want to start this by taking a moment to thank the community center staff
for the setup, tear down, and cleanup of this meeting. These are teens and adults who work here because this place means something to them, and they know it is likely that this meeting determines the future of it. I'm asking the council to not cease operations for the community center at this time. Incumbent Mayor Campbell, there are two things that immediately come to mind when I think of your name, Campbell Scoop and pickleball. I hope to see you support our indoor recreation facility in the same way you support our outdoor recreational facilities. I have some questions for the council. Expenses appear to be down $49,000 from last year and $103,000 from 2023. Where is that savings coming from, and what impact is that having on overall sustainability? What is E&G Materials? What training and support has been offered to the current manager by the city, or for that matter, former managers? Whose responsibility is it to set up the financial processes, like the controls and reconciling standards that you mentioned? And if the city has been the operator of the skate rink for 35 years, why has the city not already set up standards that meet the minimum? What alternative options have been explored to fund the community center? Partnerships with the county, grants, fundraisers, advertising opportunities? What are the proposed plans for the property if the community center closes? Has someone not already offered to purchase the land? Or is it going to remain in the city's possession? What sort of studies have been done on the economic impact the community center has on other businesses in our area? The rink currently partners with Hall of Fame Pizza at birthday parties. Roller derby teams and officials often travel a significant distance and may be staying at our hotels and eating at our restaurants and spending money at our stores. Does the city pay for its usage of the meeting rooms? If not, how much of the deficit is related to the setup, tear down, cleaning, and staffing of the unpaid city meetings and events? Since the agenda was published on the city website recommending the closure of the community center on Friday, it has hosted 2 open skate party sessions with several birthday parties. The Eldridge Police Department wrapped gifts and had a pizza party with the children who participated in Shop with a Cop. At least one private party was held. It had line dancing, and it is currently hosting this meeting. The community center is a cornerstone of this community, and to me it's wild that the council doesn't see that. Aside from homework or school, the next place my family has spent most of its time for the last 12 years has been at the community center. It started with school skates that eventually evolved into youth roller derby, but has also included birthday parties, voting, line dancing, and more. The current and former managers, Derek, Lexi, Gage, and Jamie, have been impactful adults in my child's life, whether they knew it or not. And the community center, both the events at it and the people within it, have played a major role in shaping my child and my family into who we are today. I had quite a bit more, but I'm done.
Hello, my name is Sarah Eichelberry. I live in Davenport on 2637 Esplanade. I'm here tonight because closing the public skating rink isn't just about losing rink time, it's about losing an investment in our county's health. Public recreation is infrastructure, and it's as essential as the roads, as the salted walkways, as it builds healthier, more equitable, and vibrant communities. As a professor of kinesiology who studies physical activity, I can tell you that increased access to public facilities directly supports preventative health behaviors. Here in Scott County, nearly 40% of the adults use our trail systems during good weather. But those benefits disappear when the climate or the seasons turn into what we're experiencing today. When we close facilities, healthcare burdens increase later, and those costs fall onto all of our community members and county. Dollars invested in parks and recreations benefit us through reduced healthcare costs, higher property values, and improved business attractions. And I'll just mention that when I was a poor grad student working to get this job that I have at St. Ambrose, this was one of the only activities that was something I could count on and could afford regularly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Peggy Ohl. I live in Eldridge at 2260 Stone Brook Lane. I just heard about this potential closing of the community center on Friday and just wanted to come and speak because we held a very large event here on November 15th. It was a fundraiser in honor of my husband who passed away of pancreatic cancer, and we had such a huge turnout, and we got so many complimentary
statements from people who attended. They did not know that this could be such a beautiful event center. And I just am so disappointed that the city council is considering closing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jill Hipskind. I am from Donahue, 104 North 8th Avenue Court, Donahue, and I'm here speaking on behalf of the John Glenn PTO. We do host our skate parties here, and we have great attendance, which is great physical activity, like Sarah mentioned. I'm also a professor at St. Ambrose and a physical therapist, so I recognize the value of physical activity for our youth, getting them out in the community, socializing, away from screens, away from dangerous behaviors. I also participate in the dog training that takes place here every Monday night. So I just think there's some great opportunities here in the community and would be very disappointed to see that close.
Hi, I'm here for a different reason. Tonight is my dad's last city council meeting, and I know you guys don't get thanked enough, but I just wanted to thank you all for donating your time to the city. I know it's very stressful and you rarely get thanked, so I just wanted to shout out my dad, Dan, and Frank for being such a good mayor, and just thank you guys for everything you do. I really appreciate it.
Woo-hoo! Thank you, Dan and Frank.
No tears. Yeah, it's all good.
Good evening. My name is Eva Wyatt. I live at 252 West Donahue Street as well in Eldridge. Tonight I'm here as an employee of this building, but more importantly as a community member, asking that you vote no on the closure of the Eldridge Community Center and Skate Park. In your reasoning for the push of the shutdown of this building, you define a community center as a publicly owned facility that offers a variety of services and programs for residents, with a mission to serve the entire local population. To this we can agree. However, I have to disagree with the statement that we do not meet this definition and thus add no value to the residents of Eldridge. To my understanding, most, if not all of you, have not come to the community center outside of your city council meetings. If you would have seen the joy, the grief, and the love of Eldridge residents that has passed through these walls throughout the years. You would have met the kids, like me, who found a lifetime passion in roller skating because of a school skate. You would have talked to adults who relit a forgotten dream of dancing at our line dance nights. You would have learned the dedication a girl is willing to put in to make sure the dances at our quinceanera are perfect. And you would certainly understand this place is a second home to so many in this community. However, I understand that money makes the world go round, and as an establishment, we cannot exist based on sentimental value to the community alone. More importantly, as a daughter of a former loss prevention associate, I understand the importance of a balanced book. At this time, I'd like to know, at 18 years old, I am one of the oldest staff members, especially when excluding Jamie Stecker. I understand how easy it is to judge voids and discrepancies in sales from your position, especially given the city's history. But your judgment lacks grace to the fact that as a staff of mainly 15 to 17-year-olds, we received a complex new system barely a whole month ago. When I got this job, it was my first. That is a fact for most of this staff. At a minimum, most of the teens handling the money have never used a POS system before. We are still learning this system. Every day we learn something new, and every session the amount of voids and discrepancies go down, and I am certain they will continue to. While I understand we have the expectation with money, I find it difficult to understand why you expect perfection within the first month of a new system, while with all due respect, you seem to still be learning it yourselves. I leave you today with a simple question. Why are you so willing to take away the one indoor activity that is affordable for kids, especially at this time of year? Thank you.
Thank you.
I messed it up. I think Ms. Tom.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Jeannie Stecker. I am the current manager of the Eldridge Community Center. I reside at 109 East Grove Road in Long Grove, Iowa. I'm sitting here holding back my emotions because I personally did not realize how much this place meant to those around me when I started, in my outlook when I started.
was not the proper outlook. I think my focus was not the right focus. And after working these events, working with my staff, talking with people in the community, I've learned that most of our support, whether it's financial or people showing up for the dog training or anything else, comes from our local residents. It really does. And that is where a majority of our income comes from as well too. I have also spoke with people that maybe at one point in time were not happy with the price increase and decided to come a little less often. But now after this, I also spoke with people this weekend that now would like to start coming more because they had no idea that this was even on the table for the council to decide. A lot of our residents had no idea that this was something that was a reality that they could be facing. So now they've said they're willing and they ask, what can we do to help? As far as my responsibility, I know what I need to do. It has been pointed out. I've had to learn the hard way. I feel like I was thrown into this with honestly no training, just expected to know how things are supposed to go. And I've learned the hard way, and I find out after the fact when I've done something wrong, and I'm working to correct that. As far as our point of sale system, that I agree 100% with Eva. Most of our staff is 15 to 16 years old, and this is their first job. This is the first time they've handled money. This is the first time that they've had some responsibility. They are not aware of the back of the house factors. When they try to correct a mistake, they're not aware of maybe the impact that it has on our cash outs and things like that. But as I go through our most recent sales reports, I see that these things are happening less and less. And everything on here, I've been explained to by my staff what happened, and I can account for everything on here. And just by today's sales, as of today, after all the payments that I've taken, I am almost exactly at halfway through the month at what we were at the end of the month last year, and we still have half a month to go. So when I said that I was expecting to see a turnaround at our last meeting, I was not lying, and I have the numbers to prove it.
Hi, my name is Jenna Peer. I live in Long Grove on 106 Lane. I'm a former employee. This was my first ever job here, and you know, it's been the greatest, okay? I've been skating here since I was 5 years old. This place is awesome. Okay. Like, I met so many people here. They're like family, second home. I just love them, okay? You can tell how hurt I am to hear this closing, okay? I don't really know what to say, but I'm hurt, so please reconsider.
Hi, my name is Brianna Brown. I live at 117 West Spring Street, Eldridge, Iowa, and I'm here as a community member, but also an employee of the skate park. As a worker, I've witnessed kids make friends here. I've heard stories of parents who came here when they were kids, who fell in love, and now their kids come here too. Schools in our community bring their students here for school skates as rewards, and hundreds of kids come here for skating. But even beyond being an employee, I can tell you what I know to be true. I skated here as a customer from 8 years old to 15 years old, and when I turned 16, I got a job here, where I work many events, many skates. I spend many Friday nights moving tables and chairs and doing hard work that even professional adults don't want to do, including setting up council meetings for you guys, where you come here for free, and 15 to 18 workers set it up all for you on Sunday nights before we have school in the morning. My whole year and 2 months of working here, I haven't seen any of you step foot in the building beyond meetings. So how would you know what happens here? Your extent of knowing what happens in this building is a number on a piece of paper you've decided that you don't like. Many of the issues you found here have been in our new point of sale system, a system that you wanted until you decided you didn't like it. But I'm 17 years old and I have never worked with a point of sale system. So voids, when someone decides they don't want something anymore, after we get to the point of payout, we have to press void. So there's no other option for that. And for the pressing cash button, Pressing cash button too many times makes it seem like we have more cash than we do. I understand that, but that's a human error that I can't promise I won't make being 17 years old. But I can promise that we can try to fix what you want us to fix. Because new things need time to flourish, and you haven't given us or Jamie Stecker the time to learn or grow. If you decide you're going to shut us down, we ask that you at least keep your word of giving us until 2026 so we can give the people that have deposits for their events the time. Because I don't want to be the one to tell a kid that they can't have their birthday because you guys don't have enough money.
Good evening. My name is James Rutterer. I live at 1917 Taylor Avenue in Wilton, Iowa. I have a long-standing history with this rink. My wife and I got married here, not as an event center at the rink. We had a roller skating party for our reception. I taught 7 children how to skate out there, 6 grandkids how to skate out there. For the last 3 years, I've been hosting an open skate with the QC Cutters here on every Tuesday. We've had to cut that back since the budget increase, or rather the fee increases, but we're still very passionate about skating. I'm also a referee for the Quad City Rollers. I volunteer my time. There are weeks when I am here 3 times a week, and I'm in Eldridge 3 times a week. And all of the things that everyone else said is true for me as well. I love this center. It has the potential to be so much more. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Bill Peterson. I live in Davenport, Iowa. And I visit the rink here frequently to use it, so I'm bringing money from outside into Eldridge. And people have said a lot of things already, but I just wanted to say that this is an extremely nice facility you have here, not just for roller skating, but for events and all sorts of things like that. And I think the value in keeping it in the hands of the community so that it can be used for city events and all the things that people already do here is a lot more useful than having it be empty and deteriorate or putting in the hands of a private organization or individual that would not necessarily have the interest of the community first in mind. So I hope that the council will choose to table this motion and keep this community center in the hands of the community. Thank you.
My name's Doug Gim. I live at 252 West Donahue Street. I have worked for the community center for 4 years, and I made a lot of friends here. And I would hate to see this facility close just because you guys, with this, so I do not support your guys' decision.
Thank you, Trevor.
I'm Becky Esbaum. I live at 835 Watermelon, right next door to my granddaughter who is 841, so I get the two confused. I've brought kids out here and grandkids out here. I appreciate the fact that it's a simple, basic place, nice parking, nice area. You don't have to worry about being in a bad part of town, and it's affordable. I can bring grandkids out here, bring 5, 6, a van load of kids. You can buy them a hot dog and chips and pop without going broke. It is not TBK, which is great. You can, kids that can't afford to go to TBK, be in all these travel leagues, you can afford to come here and have fun. And if you come out here, I'm amazed. It is not just elementary kids. We come out here on school nights from Davenport, host school programs out here, or skate nights. It is loaded with a lot of young adults, like in their 20s. It's a place for them to meet. You're not sitting at a bar. It's just a great place for community. I've come to a lot of nonprofit events out here when they've had fundraisers and had different things. It's just a great place for Eldridge to have, and it's not all about money. it's affordability and having people be able to enjoy and have community.
Is there anyone else that wants to address the council? Okay. Thank you all for standing up and taking your time to let the council administration hear your point of views.
Do we have any students here?
Are there any students in the crowd from the government class this evening? Okay, at the end of the meeting, you can bring your stuff up here. But real quick, could you state your name and what town you're from?
Jaden Fry, Eldridge, Iowa.
Okay, thank you. On to number 5. 5A, consideration to approve the regular city council minutes from the December 1st meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Yossi, second by Collins to approve the regular council minutes from December 1st. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nay? The ayes have it. 5B, consideration to approve the joint city council and community center board meeting minutes from the December 1st meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Campbell, second by Blackwell. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays? The ayes have it. 5C, consideration to approve the bills payable. Ryan, do you have any questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right. Dan, do you have any?
No, sir.
Scott?
None for me.
AJ?
I have no mirror.
Brian, how about you?
Of course.
Okay.
The one for Four Winds in the amount of $1,114. It's seat covers, floor liner, and toolbox on the 2025 F-550. I believe it's a new truck. If we're equipping a new vehicle, I think that should come out of the line item the equipment was bought from and not vehicle maintenance. I don't believe that's maintenance at all. Something that could be similar, I don't know. Invio automation, the snowplow bracket, was that for the new loader? In the amount of $2,265. If it was for the new.
Snowplow blade parts, is what it says.
What's it say?
Snowplow blade parts.
But they fabricated something down there. I'm just wondering if it's a bracket for the new loader the sewer department bought.
We'll have to get with Tony.
Yeah, if it's because of the new equipment, it should go with the line item that equipment was bought of, not vehicle maintenance again. Because we're just giving false vehicle maintenance numbers for next year round in our budgeting. Yard waste disposal, talked about that earlier. Check to see the capacity of that truck. I think if you put 20 cubic yards in a single axle, you're overloaded. That's what we're being billed. Too bad Tony's not here. Menards, replaced damaged mailboxes. How many did we get?
I don't know. Two that I've heard of.
Same driver?
That I don't know.
Okay. Then chief. Pepperball, what's that?
Yeah, so that's our two new non-lethal weapons that we're getting from Pepperball. Basically, it's a paintball gun that shoots pepper. That was with our seizure money.
Okay. That's all the questions I have, Your Honor.
Okay, thanks, Brian. Would you like to make a motion then with some of that?
Make a motion to approve upon verification of the bills I inquired about.
Second.
All right. Motion by Dockery to approve with finding out about the equipment on the new truck and the blade for the snowplow. Second by Blackwell. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays? The ayes have it. On to 6A, consideration of resolution 2025-37, approving the council intent to fill council vacancy by appointment. Nevada? Jeff?
Sure. In speaking with the mayor-elect, I was told that it was the council's intention to move forward with an appointment. These would be the legal documents required to proceed with that. First, we would approve the resolution with the intent, and then we would publish a notice in the North Scott Press containing the dates to apply and the dates of review and appointment, which are included in the packet.
The only question I have, because if we appoint, we'll say, you know, the possibility of a special election, but residents can petition to force us to one if that's so chooses. But in the announcement that we have to put in the paper to satisfy our statutory regulations, we have it for someone to fill it out to be returned no later than 4 p.m. on Friday, January 2nd.
That's for the application to apply for the appointment.
Correct. It's not going to hit the paper until 2 days from now. We've got the holidays involved. I would like to see that date, Friday, January 2nd, pushed out to Friday, January 9th. And then it can still comply with the rest of the dates that you have there to give people an extra week to make up time, lost time for the holidays.
Your fellow council members agree with that? I'm happy to change
Well,
it.
the council hasn't voted on anything yet.
Correct.
That's my point. I would like to amend that to say January 9th.
I'm okay with the second. I mean, I think that gives people plenty of time to do it, and that gives us time to city staff time to look at the names and have the recommendation for the meeting on the.
Well, anybody that applies for an elected position, all the names are public.
Correct.
So if we bring that out 3 days after the requirement, we still have time to evaluate them in the committee of the whole. I just say next week, if people are off Wednesday, Thursday, possibly Friday. The following week, people may be off Wednesday, Thursday, possibly Friday. You're assuming that everybody's going to see this in North Scott Press. We need to put it on our website in many locations, and I'd like to have that extra week to make sure it gets out to anybody that's interested in running.
I would have to concur with Councilman Dockery. This is probably the first that the community is hearing of this opportunity. Just like the proposal for the community center tonight. We don't want to catch people off guard. We want to be transparent with this, so I am hoping to postponing this and extending the date to at least the 9th as well.
If we put it to the 9th, all the rest of the dates are still on schedule to meet the time frame statutorily. And we could still do it at the committee of the whole on the 12th. So I'll make a motion to accept this, but change it from January 2nd to January 9th.
Second that.
Before you guys vote, Jeff, will that interfere with any other state dates?
Ms. Gens is in the audience, correct? As long as Ms. Gens can make the correction in the notice in the newspaper tonight when she writes her story, we'll be good to go.
She can't publish something we don't approve.
Correct. That's why she's here. She's ready to pull it if this doesn't go through.
All right, with that motion then, roll call.
Blackwell,
Aye.
Campbell,
Nay.
Collins,
Aye.
Dockery,
Aye.
Yossi,
Aye.
motion carries.
All right, thank you. On to 6B, consideration to approve sale of 4 surplus vehicles from the city fleet using Purple Wave, Nevada.
Thank you, Mayor. In your packet, there was a memo regarding 4 units in our fleet that are considered surplus equipment at this time. We have 2 in the police department. Those have been replaced by the new Dodge Durangos. Unit 12 is the current inspector's vehicle. He's going to take over the unit that was for the community center that they no longer use. It's just been sitting as an admin vehicle. It does get better gas mileage and would be better used for how often the inspector has to use that doing his daily inspections and daily job duties. And then the final one is Unit 88, which is an old Ford Super Duty that is in Public Works. They would like to propose to auction it off as is. It does need a total rear end replacement. What the value is for that vehicle and what it would cost to do that repair. It's past its useful life, so they would like to just list it as is and see what they can get. We have had good experience with Purple Wave in the past with selling our other surplus equipment as well.
Do we hear a motion?
One quick question, the one that the inspector's gonna drive, that was an old squad car, do we know how many miles on that?
On the one that they're selling, they're proposing to sell.
No, the one that was at the community center, no longer being used, they just gonna start driving, does that have 130, 150,000 miles on it? Or-
Yeah, 130-ish, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's around there.
I know it's newer, but does that make sense to replace the car 60,000 with one with 130,000?
The gas mileage is about twice as good on the newer vehicle, even though it has more miles. We'd save him fuel, and he puts very few miles on it a year. But
Do you remember, does that have a 6-cylinder in it? Or the old one was a squad car too, the one he's currently driving, that was our first
That was-
four-wheel drive squad car.
Yep, it used to be.
it's I believe it's just the V8 rear-wheel drive vehicle, I think.
Yeah,
That's
it's,
what it is, I believe.
it might be a V6 actually.
Okay.
I have no problem. We had good success last time, so I'll make a motion to approve 4 surplus vehicles on Purple Wave.
Second.
Motion by Yossi, second by Collins to approve selling 4 surplus vehicles on Purple Wave. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays? The ayes have it. 6C, consideration, approve, and purchase the implementation of GPS telemechanic systems on city fleet. Nevada?
Thank you, Mayor. This was requested, it's come up a couple of times and was requested to be researched and bring some information forward for the council to consider for installing GPS tracking on our city fleet to help with cost projections, budgeting, maintenance, and training, things like that. So we looked at 3 different systems initially. Verizon Connect Reveal is a popular system. We already have a relationship established with Verizon. They offer the GPS portion at $18.95 per vehicle per month. And then they also have the dash cam available in both the road facing and the dual facing. And the road facing would be $24.95 a month per vehicle and the dual facing at $29.95. We looked at WEX as well. That is the current fleet fuel system that we use. They also have a telematics and GPS system, similar in price. The GPS alone is $21.95 per vehicle per month. And then they've got the road facing and dual facing at $24.50 and $34.50 per vehicle per month. And then we also looked at Samsara, which is a nationwide organization that deals with municipalities and private businesses. This was one of a recommended vendor to look into. I did do a demo with them today. The system offers a lot of different capabilities that would be advantageous to us as far as cost projections, training, monitoring our fleet, driver behaviors, those things. The monthly GPS vehicle with Samsara, the charge per vehicle per month is $19.50, and then they have the road-facing cameras at $35 per month, and the dual-facing cameras at $45 per month per vehicle. The Samsara also offers a paid version of maintenance software. They have some basic maintenance capabilities in the regular GPS and dash cam software, but they also have a paid version which offers the preventative maintenance, the repairs, work orders. They can digitize all of our previous invoices that have been used for repair orders and put all of that into our system for better tracking. And that comes at a cost of $11.25 per vehicle per month. When you put it all into annual costs for any one of these GPS systems, we'd be looking at anywhere from $14,000 to $19,000 per year at estimated 25 vehicles, which would be all of our snow plows, all of our public works and utility.
Is there an initial cost for the hardware up front, or do they own it?
The equipment does not have a charge with it for any, all three systems have an offer for the equipment free of charge.
I guess I'm comfortable with the GPS part. I don't know if we need the cameras and everything, though.
So I'm just the opposite. I'm a big fan of the cameras, not to be looking out at what they're doing, but to protect yourself from other liabilities. And I've had cameras in my trucks now for over a year, and I can tell you I can count on both hands how many times it's saved a driver. Something happened, near miss. It's also something that if somebody makes an accusation against them, you can go back and review the footage, and a lot of times it takes immediate liability out. For an example, a concrete truck had somebody blow a stoplight, and it was a possible fatality or near fatality. That officer had the download of that video in his squad car before he left the scene, and it showed that truck was not at fault. It was the guy that blew the light. So examples like that, I think it's a very litigious society. We've got a lot of risk out there on the streets, and I think this is a small measure that would help protect us. And the other thing is as we're moving forward, insurance is getting harder and harder to get. So we had a couple of people that would price us last time we shopped. It's becoming a point where it's going to be mandatory sooner than later. So we just need to look forward.
Will we have to acquire more cloud storage for all the video, or do we have enough storage area?
For sure with Samsara and Verizon, I would have to go back and confirm with WEX, but they have the cloud storage for free. So it stores everything in the cloud, that any of the data that it's collecting from our fleet, and there's not an extra charge to us for that. Just off of Councilman Yossi's comments, one of the cool things with Samsara in their demo today is something that is coming up is if you have the road-facing cameras, there is a capability that's going to be coming out soon that can detect potholes. And so as our drivers are driving, if they have that road-facing camera on, it can detect and track and keep a monitoring list of the potholes that are detected, so it would be easier for our crews to go back and locate and maintain the roadways as well, which I thought was a pretty cool feature to add free of charge.
Is this a yearly thing, or do we have to buy in so many years?
There were no contract requirements.
Okay. And then it's capable of geofencing, so we know when a city vehicle is outside our city limits?
Correct.
Yes, and works really well.
Okay.
Nevada, based on the information that you provided us this evening, do you have a preference regarding which way would be better in the current relationship that we have with Verizon or telematics?
I think initially I probably would have said Verizon or WEX because we've got those relationships established, but after watching the demos and learning about the system capabilities and the similarity in all of the prices, I think Samsara was definitely above and beyond, definitely set apart with what they offered and what they were capable of. They are on a state contract, with the state of Iowa, and they also will integrate with our WEX fuel systems too, so they can monitor that and just upload what we've already got with WEX, which is also a state contract. So that relationship is already there and somewhat established too. So based on what I've seen and the similarity in prices, I think Samsara is probably the best option, and we get the most for what we would be paying.
And this is just for vehicles that are licensed to be on the road, or is this our mower, tractors, and everything? Oh, sorry, microphone is on. Is this just for vehicles licensed to be on the road, or is it for mower, tractors, and everything?
I would be looking for the fleet for our vehicles, our snow plows, our trucks, our vehicles on the road.
Is there any further discussion, council? And so, but with hearing that and going through the best estimated cost and what's going to be advantageous more so for the city, I make a proposal that we go through Samsara at the estimated cost.
Second.
Cameras, or what's his motion? For just the GPS, or for the GPS and the cameras?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what your motion is, sorry.
For both.
For both?
Yes.
We should probably wait to see when we get the contract back, make sure there's nothing hidden in there before we agreed.
So there is no motion on the table then, you're saying, Brian? You want to see the contract first before you want to vote on it? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think we need to know what's in the contract before we vote on it. Or, you know, we can do it subject to approval of what's in the contract by city staff or council.
It would be easier to do it upon, it's motions on the floor, upon approval of the contract.
Absolutely.
As long as the contract looks good, then
By city
motions are
staff,
passed, yes.
I trust Nevada and the work that she's done on it, yes. So.
Yep. You good with that?
Yep.
Motion by Blackwell, second by Campbell, to approve Samsara for GPS with approval of city staff when they see the contract
And the camera.
and the cameras. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays? The ayes have it. All right. On to 6B, consideration to discontinue operations and close the Eldridge Community Center and skate park facility. Nevada, can I pass this over to you for some information?
Thank you, Mayor. Again, this just turns to the packet that you have, your agenda packet for this evening, and I know we've heard from a lot of public comments as well. So what the information in the memo is coming from the city staff perspective on some of the challenges that we've faced over the evaluation period that started in December of 2024. At this point, 12 months in, looking at where the goal was financially and where we currently are, that was the information that we provided to you as far as the additional information as far as
No, we're not closed yet.
As far as the impact on the staff and the staff resources, keeping in mind that financials are just a part of what we're looking at as a whole. The facility does operate in a way that is more similar to a private business than what a true community center would be, as a gathering place with discounted rates and low-cost programming for Eldridge citizens. That would be separate from the same opportunities that are available at other private businesses in the community that are absolutely valuable to the community and offer value and bring people to the city of Eldridge, such as the Bun Station or any of our sit-down restaurants or any other venues that bring people in from other communities but are run as private businesses by private business owners. There are statutes and state code that prohibit municipalities from being in a competitive market with private businesses unless necessary or justifiable. And the events and the skating are more of fee-based services that are offered through the community center, which is more similarly comparable to a private business rather than a true community center that is funded strictly by Eldridge taxpayers to provide benefits to the local residents of Eldridge above and beyond other communities and people coming in.
Go ahead.
I first want to thank everybody for coming out and voicing your opinion. For those who didn't publicly speak, neither. I believe it. Just having this presence here really says something, whether you spoke or not. We have to remember, and what I have been saying and relaying, that this is our City Hall meeting area. If we had this turnout tonight at City Hall, it would be out the door. There would be concerns there that of the weather, and having people staying outside, which is unsafe. There's people standing outside now. Just imagine that space. It brings us to a point that, yes, we do need a new City Hall, police station. So I hope this is a catalyst for that. But having these meetings here and not having a proper plan put into place as to, are we okay with going back to City Hall? What are we going to do about space like this? I mentioned in the memo regarding warming cooling station. I've advocated for that before. This has been used as, it might not be official in script somewhere, but we have used this facility in the past for a warming and cooling station. So what occurs if there is emergencies? We do need a space to accommodate and make sure that the community is safe. I was personally shocked when I got the email that this was going to be on there. I'm trying to make a decision regarding this with not having the community center board even here for discussion and get their input. Yes, we had staff here, we had Jamie, but it just doesn't feel quite right. I mean, you hear people speak, and yes, there's emotion there and so forth. My children came through here with different events and so forth too. No one's reached out to the school district to ask them what are they going to do regarding the elementary schools with what's been scheduled already. There's supposed to be, my understanding, a blood drive here on February 2nd through the junior high. With stuff that's been scheduled right now, I mean, has anybody reached out? Was there any type of communication? So I don't think there was, which that's a bad look for us. With the QC rollers as well, was I don't know if they were contacted beforehand or not. The way we're going about this is not right. It's not professional. It gives Eldridge a black eye. We need to ensure that what's been scheduled already can go through, and we need to think outside the box. Is how are we going to utilize this? To me, it's like an amenity. It's like the library. We had a discussion with the library before about, are we going to extend that? So are we going to close the library? Are we going to make it this? The library's not a moneymaker. I don't ever think the community center, skate park, was intended to be a money maker per se. Looking back at the history of it. So where has this changed that? and where's the philosophy coming from? Well, let's have more of a discussion with that, and how does that look like? And again, have we looked at, with the cooling center, warming station, have we looked at federal funding for that? Have you looked at, like somebody mentioned, state as well? Is there other type of funding that we can pursue? Are we thinking outside the box as how we can utilize this? You know, so Councilman Campbell, how many people are playing pickleball outside right now?
I think no one has a brain,
so why couldn't we use this for pickleball on nights where there's no activity? Have we thought about accessibility for individuals who mobility may be wheelchair? Have you looked at sports accessibility with that for individuals with disabilities? Are we looking outside the box fully before we just want to go through and access? There's been really no discussion. There's been no further discussion that we have had as a council. It's just premature. Okay, so and with this, and until we have a chance to sit down professionally with members who are invested in here, I can't support closing this place. So, and I think right now we need to table it until we can get all vested members together.
This really shouldn't be a surprise to anybody because we've been talking about this for a year, Adrian, and you've been part of those conversations. But first of all, I really appreciate the passion in this room. I mean, that's really good. I mean, a lot of you are not from Eldridge, but it was great to hear your opinion as well. I really want to thank the young lady here who has fallen asleep on us. But for those of you who could not hear when we said the Pledge of Allegiance, her voice was the loudest. And she stood up loud and proud and said the Pledge of Allegiance, and then her little speech was good as well. And so I really do appreciate that. My opinion hasn't changed from a year ago, and it hasn't changed from 6 months ago when we had the discussion with the community center board on what to do about the future of this building. I believe this really isn't your typical community center. This is a business. That's the bottom line. It's a business. And the city should not be in the business of running a business, much what talked about in her little preamble here. I think the community center board has done a great job in trying to make this place solvent. They have really worked hard, and their hearts are really in the right place. And we've had numerous discussions with them over the course of the past year, including one just 2 weeks ago. And as to your comment about the community center board, Adrian, it was their idea to table it last meeting and come here tonight. It was their idea that they wanted to be here. And so they aren't here for whatever reason, but they've had their chance and they've been part of these discussions. There's always a time to make a tough decision, and I do think that time is now. I've seen all the posts on Facebook. We've gotten emails in our email over the weekend about all the reasons why we should keep it open. And I've listened to the people here tonight, and the majority of them, it appears to me from my 4 pages of notes, it's all about roller skating, and it's a skating rink. I know that, Peggy, I know that you had your event here, and I think that is awesome. But when you look at the calendar, we don't have a lot of big events like that on the calendar. And we are a business, or we're a city that is running a business, and we are competing against other businesses that do the same thing that we do. There's a event center just across the street that has wedding receptions, which we try to do. We haven't had any success really doing that. Jamie has tried for 6 months, and there's really nothing on the books for the future, and we're hearing excuse after excuse why it hasn't happened. I mean, I've been in meetings with city staff for the last couple months and their frustrations with everything. And I think that the memo that we got last Wednesday, talking about this with their recommendation, was really well thought out. And I think that when city staff brings their concerns to us with their recommendation, on top of all the discussions we have had for the past year, I think that we have to listen to them. And as difficult as it may be, I just can't get past the city should not be running a business at a loss of $70,000 a year, or whatever it is that we've been putting in. That's pretty substantial.
I am really torn on this issue at the current time. We've seen the numbers that staff's given us. I also went back and pulled out our budget from this year. In the budget for this year, we had earmarked $20,000, which would be 10% of the money market interest. We had $20,000 coming out of hotel motel tax. And we had $16,000 coming out of sales tax, which those numbers are reasonable to what has been in years past, other than last year, $40,000. There was an estimated number, $40,525 came out of the money market interest. But when we did this budget, we put it together with the smaller numbers. So it'd be subsidized $56,000. In their expenses, there's a line item for $50,000 worth of capital improvements in their budget. If you look at those numbers, to me, that's a wash. Now, $6,000, if we could be, $10,000 to $25,000 in the red and still service community, it's just not a community center, it's more of a quality of life out here similar to our parks. I mean, we put a lot of money into the parks, I'm not disagreeing with that, but they have no revenue. I will agree that when the community center was formed, it was supposed to be self-sufficient. There's no disagreement on that. There's comments of we shouldn't be in competition with private business in the area. Well, this place has been here 30 years. They moved in knowing this place was here. If another business moves in and I can't think of the situation, but I'm not going to advocate closing anything because another business moved in. I am an advocate not to go into business with existing businesses. I mean, this is a quality of life thing for me. I'm not comfortable with the numbers presented to us. That's why I went back to our budget. We had a balanced budget with those lower input. The last 3 months, they've shown improvement. We're coming out of the summertime. So I guess my preference at this time would be to table this and go at least another 6 months to see where we end up on year end, matching up to our budget that ends the end of June in 2026.
I'm torn too, because my daughter was here, she skated, we had birthday parties here, my son was here during school events. Brian and I do the fiscal amounts every year, and we try to do what's best for every citizen here in Eldridge. We care about, infrastructure first. We care about, your taxes. We try to be very good stewards for you. And in the last 4 years that I've been here, we've come strides to make things better for Eldridge, to make your roads better, your First Street, we have the new light going up. And now we did, LeClaire's coming up, and Fellner's addition, and all, we are always looking at ways where we can spend your money very wisely. I'm with Brian. If we can do 10 to 25,000 or less in the red, is it worth it to the community, and is it worth it to the taxpayers, the 7,000 people that live here, and I listened to all of you tonight, and you have great passion, and I love Eldridge. Eldridge is my little piece of heaven, and I love this place, and I love the community, and I want to grow old here, and I want to die here. And I just think, what's the best for Eldridge? What's the best for our little piece of heaven? And then you try to look in the future, and I agree that it's not all about the money. Just so you know, I have been to community events here. I was at the Olds. I have been here during birthday parties. Actually, I mopped for you when the ice machine was going over one night. So, you know, I didn't mind, you know, I put my pants on the same way as everyone else does. You know, I didn't point and say, hey, you got a problem there. I'm like, where's your mom? You know, I want to help out. And the Old Strand was a beautiful event. They weren't cramped this year. There were hundreds of people. I want to guess over 400 people were here that day. And just the community event and the feel you felt when you walked in there was just amazing. So, you know, I'm torn too. Not only is it my last night here, I want to do the right thing for the right reasons for 5 years from now, 10 years from now. You know, can I stop it from, you know, the city putting it for sale and finding someone that might run it as a business and run it bigger and better than what we have the time and the resources to do? You know, I don't know. I can't stop progress, but what I can do is I can tell you that I felt everyone tonight when you were talking, and it's such a hard decision up here as a councilman because we get it. We understand where you're coming from. We understand how it's so emotional for everyone and our emotional strands to this place. And Mr. Adrian, I do agree that, you know, this is a great place to have our city meetings and we need to plan ahead. So I'm torn both ways of how to vote tonight, to be honest.
Like many of you guys, I grew up coming here too. As a child, grade school, skated. My kids skated here. I understand the compassion. I couldn't confirm it, but I was told when I was younger that one of my relatives originally opened a skate park. So it's very near and dear to me. I've been to hundreds of events up here my whole life. With that said, we're responsible to the taxpayers. So when I look at the numbers, they're not as important. I don't disagree. I would lose some money to keep the doors open. But what I'm looking at is the other risks and liability. And should we as a city be in a business? That's my hang up, okay? When I got on, I was frustrated. I started coming to meetings because I didn't see things get done with our roads and streets that I felt satisfied with. So I got engaged. 2 weeks ago at a meeting, we were trying to figure out if we were going to get the next road project done in 2 or 3 year period of time because we can't financially fix everything at once. My passion is about taking care of the taxpayers, not prolonging needed repairs for roads, street lights, everything that goes with that. So circle back around to the community center. I don't think the intention is to see it go away, but I look back and with the added liability, city insurance does not like us having that. 3 out of 5 of recommendations were regarding community center from the insurance company. We've had audit problems. Again, I don't blame the current manager, certainly don't blame the community board right now, and I'll tell you right now, I've been on a lot of committees and boards, you're not gonna find a group of more dedicated people with passion to try to do everything they can to try to get things turned around. I was out here with them on some nights. I sat and watched them get into the weeds trying to find ways to make it better. Again, some things can't always be fixed. And again, I'm torn on seeing it close. I don't want to see it shut down for good. What I have an issue with is that the city is running technically it should be a for-profit business. I don't see the things like you mentioned, Adrian, you know, opening it up for different activities. To me, a community center is opening the doors and people can come in for free and do activities. You have events here. You have things that go on. We don't have any of that here, and we haven't. It's been open for private parties. It's been open for weddings. I'll just read this because I got this today. So for open skate birthday parties in 2025, 57 evaluations were filled out. 15 of those were Eldridge residents. 6 did not disclose where they came from. For 2024 events, 21 out of 110 were Eldridge addresses that put on events here. For 2025, 23 out of 87 were listed as Eldridge residents. So when I get phone calls saying, why is our tax money going to pay for the majority of the people coming from out of town, the only good answer I have is they're bringing business to the community, right? And we want that, because when people come in town, they're gonna stop at the gas station, they're gonna stop at a restaurant. They're gonna spend money here is the goal, hopefully. There's no way to truly gauge how much that is, but if it was a private business, they would do the same thing. So that's my contention with this right now.
Can I go back to our budget? And I guess first, this young lady said nobody comes up here. My daughter's wedding reception was here. I've been skating with my kids. And when Derek was the manager and he had to flip this thing in 4 hours, I was up here at 1 o'clock in the morning flipping tables for him. But back to the budget. When we did a balanced budget using those lower numbers of input into their budget to get a balanced budget with the 50,000 capital improvements. At the time that budget was put together, the community center and cash reserves had $100,000. So that's one thing I'd recommend, is run those cash reserves down and don't have the city subsidize it so much. The other option might be, if there truly is a feeling they want to close it, which I don't agree with right now, put it to the vote of the people. They're the taxpayers that are paying for this, besides user fees. You know, that would be an option. So, but I'd like to table this for a while, personally.
Just to go back and the numbers that Councilman Yossi presented regarding Eldridge and individuals utilizing Eldridge, does any of that reflect Donahue, Parkview, Long Grove, Princeton, and elementary schools utilizing that within the North Scott district? Because there is a tie, there is a benefit right there. So if we're excluding that, we're just looking at it, when individuals come that live here in Eldridge proper, I'm sure they would support and agree to any involvement with the partnership that we have right now at the North Scott School District, that they believe that would be a benefit. So I just want to make sure that that's out there. It's not hidden. It's not hidden in the weeds anywhere. And definitely, Councilman Dockery, with this, we still need the table. Give this some time. And Christmas is 10 days away. How can some of us have a heart to terminate people's appointments? And Christmas is just around the corner, for crying out loud. I mean, how Grinch mode can you be?
Ryan, I understand your numbers that you presented. I haven't seen those or heard of those prior to you doing that tonight. But I will say that's no different than the ball diamonds at Sheridan Nuts. We put a lot of money out in those parks to them host big tournaments from people all over. I guarantee very few are from Eldridge. No difference than the pickle courts. We've spent a lot of money building those pickle courts. Gonna have to put money into resurfacing. There again, there's Eldridge residents go there, but there's also all kinds of people from outside the area. They're well-renowned pickleball courts. They have tournaments from people show up from Illinois and every place else. So to me, there's a similarity between what the taxpayers are funding and quality of life. I mean, it's, to me, the community center and people from outside Eldridge using it's no different than people using our parks or the pickleball courts.
They're praising, and what I've been echoing forever, this is a great amenity. It brings in people from the outside to showcase what Eldridge has to offer and further growth, further support. Maybe individuals want to come out here, maybe say, this is a great place to live. It's a great place to raise a family. It's a great place to retire. This amenity offers that. This is a plus for the community to have. And this is why we need to keep this amenity here within Elbridge.
I will say, I mean, I agree with Scott on some things that we can't keep doing it to the level that's been done. No doubt about that. It was probably 4 years ago, 5 years ago, we went through that with the fitness center. A little different story. But I think as long as we can keep showing positive progress, you know, like I said, I'm okay if we show a little in the red because of the amenities that provides a quality of life out here. But I agree with Scott, we can't keep going at 80 or 100,000 a year. I just think it's too early. That's why I'd like to get through this budget, get to year end, so we have 12 months to see how close we came in the budgeting process. And I still say we should be using some of the cash reserves on hand and offset the backflow from interest, the money market or the sales tax. 2 weeks ago, we were here talking about owner's edition. You know, and I was opposed to doing 2 the first time because of cash flows. It was stated that night that we have money in motor fuel tax and we got plenty of money in our sales option tax. So there should be a few $1,000s in our sales option tax to get through this. I mean, it was stated we had plenty of money 2 weeks ago. Hasn't changed 2 weeks.
So we have a recommendation from city staff who spends a lot of time working on community center issues and fixing problems. And so if we're gonna run this as a business, are we gonna start charging the community center for payroll, bookkeeping, snow plowing, and other expenses provided by city staff? Are we gonna start charging all their time? Because they have put in a lot of hours to get to this point now. I've sat in meetings, I've listened to conversations. Have any of you had conversations with them? Have you talked to them since this came out last Wednesday? Who has had conversations with them to get any questions answered? I think we have to respect our city staff. And if it was important enough for them to put this memo together, it's important enough for us to give it serious consideration and not kick it down. We can't kick it down another 6 months or another year, whatever you want to do. We've had these discussions, and these are the people that are telling us we have a problem. Our insurance agent is telling us we have a problem. Even our lawyer, when she found out we had a community center or skating rink, goes, "You guys have a skating rink?" I mean, that's important stuff. I mean, I hear everything everybody is saying. I totally get that. But again, this is a business, unfortunately. When we had the fitness center, Eldridge residents got a break. They got cheaper memberships. I don't think Eldridge residents get a break here for anything. So not only is it a business, but do we?
Then do
I don't
that.
see the benefit.
Scott, I read, researched the information city staff gave us. At the end of the day, bottom line is they're just a recommendation. It's up to the people around this table to make a decision what they feel is best for the community.
Absolutely, I agree.
So the way I understand it, Brian, was that a motion you made then, the table?
Yes, I'd make a motion to table for at least 6 months till we get through the end of the fiscal year.
And Adrian, you were second that then? All right, so Dockery and Blackwell. All those in favor of tabling this and giving them 6 months?
I'll do a roll call, Your Honor, just for clarity.
Sure. Roll call.
Blackwell,
Aye.
Campbell,
Nay.
Collins,
Nay.
Dockery?
Aye.
Yossi?
Nay.
Motion fails.
So the motion failed. So the issue is, I understand all these people here have brought forward all their time out of their day to come here to talk to us in front of the council administration, the mayor. The city almost was uninsurable not that long ago because of some situations that were amongst the city, which unless you read the North Cap Press, you probably weren't aware of. We were able to get insurance, but we have insurance audits and they're still recommending some changes in what how the city runs and some of the facilities we have, and this is one of them. It's a huge liability to all the taxpayers of the city of Eldridge. One big lawsuit will gobble up tons of the city's money that's needed for all the other things that we love about Eldridge. I love Eldridge. All the parks you take for granted, the roads when we have bad snowstorms, the way they're plowed, all that stuff all comes from the taxes. And the insurance is just, that's the way it is. I bet all of you probably, unless you work for somebody like John Deere Alcoa, your health insurance is going up like ridiculous. And that's just the way it is. Insurance is killing America right now. And that's a real big thing that we're facing right here. Like Ryan said, it isn't that we're opposed to putting a little bit of money into it, but just think of the $70,000 or $100,000 that we spend a year to keep it open, what it could go for. But if there's one big lawsuit, that's millions of dollars that have to be paid out by the city. So right now, the motion to table this and give them 6 more months is tabled right now. Is there any other motion somebody would like to put on the floor?
As difficult as it is, and I'll look you all in the face because this is tough. I mean, these decisions are really difficult. But Frank spoke eloquently about it. We've had conversations about it. I've talked to city staff. I just can't get past the fact that this is a business and it's a liability, and we shouldn't be in the business of roller skating. I'll make the motion that we begin the process of closing down the community center.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Campbell, second by Yossi to start closing down the EEC.
What, I'm sorry, I need clarification. What does that mean to start closing it down?
When would this start? Like, what does that mean for people who have, I'm sorry, I know it's probably not really my opportunity to speak here, but what does that mean for people who've entered into contracts? I have entered into a contract to have for a graduation party in May. Is that done? What does that mean for the employees? Is she out of a job today?
Right before fucking Christmas?
Like, is this what it is, or like, what? Yeah, I am looking for clarity. That is why I was asking for this to be.
What is it?
We're gonna be nice,
So
and we're gonna be
so
I'm about to be out of a job, I'm sorry,
so-
I'm a little heated.
So, and I appreciate you understand, this isn't the time for that, that was earlier. So it isn't this is gonna be a line drawn in the sand tonight.
Okay.
If that's what it is. There's a lot of things still to get worked out with this.
Okay.
So I appreciate that's a good
Yeah,
question that you
I appreciate
asked,
it's not my time to speak, but it
can't-
is questions I think
Can't
everybody
answer
asks.
that at this point, because when we had to get a vote of the council first.
Okay, I understand. Thank you so much for taking the
You're
time to
welcome.
address it. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Probably know the meeting before all of it's over.
There will be a process that's going to take the appropriate motions and approvals.
Roll call on this?
Blackwell?
Nay.
Campbell?
Aye.
Collins?
Aye.
Dockery?
Nay.
Yossi?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Sorry, guys.
Bye, hon. I'll see you out.
Love you, God.
We're on to number 7, board and activity reports, Nevada.
Why are you trying to run it like a business? Why?
I hope nobody gets hurt down the ball diamonds with the pickleball court this year, because I'd hate for you to be sued for that.
Thank you, Mayor. The Lincoln Road, we did get word from the Federal Highway Administration approved the federal functional classification revision for Lincoln Road, changing it from a local to a minor collector and making that segment eligible for federal funding requests in the future. So that's a big win. Took a long time, but we got there. The fiscal year 27 budget timeline will be sent out for the City Council to review within the next week or so. Very similar to the last year's timelines that we have followed, same timelines with the state for things that are due to be turned in. Tentatively looking at January 26th would potentially be our first meeting to review initial max levy numbers for consideration. For the fire department update, we have connected with the City of Davenport's new chief to coordinate that meeting. We're also received word back from the volunteer fire company that they've agreed to coordinate the call with FEMA to include them, their FEMA representative and the city staff. And we also recently met with Assistant Chief Engler and Treasurer Tim Martinic to open the lines of communication back up there, and we intend to set a follow-up meeting to keep making progress on discussions directly with the fire company as well. Last but not least, just wanted to thank Mayor King and Councilman Dan Collins for your dedication and service. It's truly been a pleasure working with both of you for the last 2.5 years, and I'm very proud of the accomplishments under your leadership, and you will be missed.
Thanks. Thank you, Nevada. Jeff, calling you next.
Just a short thank you to the mayor and Councilman Collins. I've known you guys for a long time. It's been a pleasure to work with you in this capacity.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. Chief, you're next.
All right, sorry to prolong this a little bit. I do have some updates for you. One, Mr. Mayor and Mr. Collins, it's been an absolute pleasure to work with you guys the last couple of years, and especially working with you most of my career. So thank you to you guys.
Thank you.
Just a couple updates. We have 4 new rifle-rated ballistic shields that we purchased that hopefully will be in at the end of this month. That was purchased with the Moonlight Chase grant and also a donation from the Veterans Car Club. So thank you to those 2 entities. They will be going right out on patrol for our officers. Shop with the Cop was last weekend. Very good turnout. We had 7 families, probably 30 individuals that we provided a really good Christmas for. So I want to thank you to all our donors for that. Letters from me are going to go out this week to thank them. They're the unsung heroes. We're able to do this great program because of them. So it was phenomenal to see the kids' faces. They were really excited to go shopping for mom, dad, and siblings. So it was awesome to be part of. Councilman Dockery brought up the pepper balls, the pepper ball guns. Those are going to be another less lethal option for us. Obviously, we have our tasers, pepper spray, Aspeton, things like that. So this is just another less lethal tool for us to use in case we have to. We have 2 officers that will be going to the instructor class at the end of January, and we'll train up the other officers before we actually put those out in patrol for them to use. Last thing I have is a new software we have added to the department. It's called TrueLeo. And with that, it's become an essential resource for modern law enforcement because it reviews all of our body camera footage. Right now, myself, the other supervisors, we sit down, review body cam footage on a daily basis. That can take a couple hours just to go through 1 or 2 videos. So this actually does that for us. It's pretty cool what it does. Right now, we have over 3,000 hours of body cam footage stored on our cloud. Reviewing that manually, that would take 6 officers, 40 hours per week for 13 straight weeks to review every single body cam footage that we have. Basically, that represents 3,100 total labor hours. That's time that would take officers away from patrol, investigations, training, and community engagement.
Based on staffing costs, Trulio, since October, has saved the city of Eldridge more than $121,000. So it's a great system. It analyzes every single body camera video we have. It flags key moments, maybe areas for more training, and it allows supervisors to focus on what's important. It detects and highlights highly professional officer interactions, high composure, intense and complex situations, praise, commendation, and positive coaching. It ensures consistent oversight over every single body camera footage we have. One of the strongest benefits has been the ability to recognize positive officer behavior that otherwise might have gone unseen. So that's been really nice. Since October, it has flagged 96 times for officers displaying high professionalism. So I think that's massive. Talking to the rep, it's usually 8 to 1. Usually 8 high professional interactions to 1, maybe training one. Right now we're about at 80 to 1. So showing our officers are being highly professional out there. That's what I like to see, and that's what we preach. So that's great. Otherwise, it increases accountability and recognition at the same time. It strengthens community trust through transparent, full footage analysis. It reduces the administrative burden, as you can see by the cost saving that this does. And it reinforces positive police habits. So I just wanted to give you guys an idea that we do have that operational. We just had a whole department trained on that this week. So we're really excited about it. I know the officers are pretty excited about it. So just wanted to give you guys those updates.
Good job, sounds cool.
You're on.
Not quite yet.
And you want to go before me?
No, I just want to say something, because you want to make the motion, don't you?
But I'm going to say something too, so go ahead.
Go ahead.
Hold on, Tracy.
I know you guys have forgotten about it.
Okay, oh, Tracy, sorry.
I know.
When did you get here?
I know. I also wanted to echo the sentiments of others that it has been, in my under 2 months of being here, it's really been fantastic to work with you. And I know your commitment to this community, and the same with you, Councilmember Collins. I am also very moved by the commitment to the community, and I know that you guys have had a really difficult decision, but I can appreciate the effort that has gone into recognizing the staff recommendations, as difficult as they have been. But I just wanted to express my appreciation for that as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Tracy.
I do just want to thank both Frank and Dan for all your years of service. Frank, I think it's been about 12 years between the council and being mayor.
Yep.
And then Dan for the last 4 years, plus all your years on the fire department and medic and everything else that you do for our community. And we have not always agreed on every issue. We have had our differences over not only since I've been on the council, but when I was on the park board, and then when I was working at the North Scott Press. But I've always appreciated the respect, and that we've been able to have respectful discussions about that, whether it be in your office at Grand Haven or in your shop at, on First Street. I've always appreciated that, and so you guys have definitely served us well, and our community is a better place because of you guys.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you.
I don't want to sound like a diva, but it really has been a pleasure serving with you two over all these years. We haven't always agreed, but we've never taken it personal. I mean, the function of a good board is when there is disagreement. If everybody votes the same all the time, somebody's not doing their job. I think tonight we had a healthy discussion. We had a difference of opinion, but I know at the end of the day, the council has spoken. Now it's all our jobs to follow through that. But I appreciate the dedication you guys have given to the city in the years, the time away from your family.
No one's more happier than Lisa and Riley.
and the true fact that now you can go out to dinner with your family and not have to worry about anything. A little bit envious, I guess, in a certain way. And for the record, if the next couple of weeks you get bored, the deadline for paperwork is January 9th. With that, I make a motion for adjournment. I still make a motion.
This one is, so echo those sentiments. So thank you guys for your service, working with you. Mayor, from the time on the council, this was difficult meetings and long hours. 12:38 in the morning, 5.5-hour meetings and stuff, right here at this building.
Yep.
So there's good memories and bad memories here, but thank you guys for what you do. Hope there's some capacity you can still continue. I know you guys will continue giving back in some form or whatever, but definitely. So I hope you're still involved with government in some form or fashion. It's been great. It's been great working with you guys. But it's, I know, Councilman, you made a motion for adjournment, but I just want to remind people that with the holidays coming up, Christmas is on a Thursday. For those individuals in town that gets picked up and gets service on Thursday, trash and recycling would be a day late on that. So it would be on the 26th on that Friday. And just remind individuals that your wrapping paper is recyclable. If you can't fit in your bin, then please put it in a bag, preferably a paper bag or a see-through plastic bag, and set it next to your bin. So that way it gets properly recycled and not landfill. So, on that then, I do a second. So unless there's anybody else has anything else to add tonight.
I'll just say ditto. You guys covered it.
Thanks, Ryan. Motion by Dockery, second by Blackwell. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nay? We're adjourned. I'd like to say one more thing on behalf of myself. I want to thank all the citizens that voted for me 4 years ago. It hasn't been all easy the last 4 years, but I think truly the city is a better place than it was 4 years ago, both for all the city employees and the citizens. And I want to thank you all for your support. Thank you.